actually really Canadian. In the way you hugged Sasha and everything. Like, it was like it's purely Canadian, and we're very just real people. I think. And is culture a main contributor to the values within Anvil? And how have they contributed to the workings of the band as a whole, both in regards to ethnicity, like your ethnic backgrounds, and being Canadian nationality?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Well, we haven't. Yeah, we are obviously Canadian, and we come across that way. But that's because we're from here.
Mm-hmm. You are what you are, and you're from where you're from. I mean, what are you gonna? You can't change it.
Yeah.
You know, we behave like,
no
we behave
facade.
like, we have that more laid back,
Humble.
Yeah, exactly.
Humbleness and keeping your feet firm on the ground and not losing perspective of what got you there and how you're going to stay. You don't forget the people that helped you. I think
Grateful, thankful.
Those are all.
I don't know. Is that a Canadian thing? I don't know.
Gratitude.
It might be. Some people. I think we like to view ourselves as such. I think that Canadian people have a very, very strong pride in being humble and be very extraordinarily hardworking and persistent. I mean, that's the Canadian way. Mm-hmm. It's not about quitting. It's about going after it until you get it.
You only need what's that thing that you always say? It's not how much you need, it's what you want it for. You got a saying? There's a good saying to this.
Well, I always say it's not how much money you make. It's what you do with it and how you spend it.
And that's really
that's a real truth, man, because you can have very little money and be real happy.
You can live
okay? And have a real fulfilled life and not have a whole lot of money. And the reason for that is because you know how to not spend. And you can have a lot of money and never find happiness because you don't know how to spend to make yourself happy. So it's all perspective. It's all.
We know lots of wealthy people who are completely unsatisfied with everything. Yeah. They have a big house, with money, but they're completely void of happiness. That's very common. It's amazing. It's really amazing to see.
It's crazy, yeah. For sure.
Because it's not really about that. Like we're trying to say all this time, it's not really about those materialistic status things. It's not really about that.
Shouldn't be. An example of it. So we're standing in the airport in England at Heathrow, and this little short guy comes up, elderly gentleman.
Looks like Ringo Starr.
Looks like Ringo Starr. Couldn't place him. He's got a really familiar sounding voice, and he's going, "I watched your movie at least 5 times. I have to stop every time I get to certain parts because I'm in absolute shambles and crying my eyes out. And it made me reevaluate my life and appreciate." Rock stars sitting in our dressing room drinking our beers.
All we're going to do is talk to Sasha, this little kid.
And this kid is totally captivated our attention in the sense that there was such a warmth and an authenticity to the way he talked. You knew that he was what he said he meant.
He wasn't just a kid blowing.
It wasn't just blue, and he knew what he was talking about. Yeah. Okay, this guy obviously knew what he was talking. He intrigued us to the point where we're going, okay,
let's hang out with this kid.
Let's start hanging out with him. He wants to take us around London.
We became buddies,
So he takes us around London, right? And he starts telling us he's got family in Toronto, and he goes, "I'm gonna come to Toronto and visit you." So I said, "Okay, whatever, sure, right."
Yeah, sure enough.
I never really thought about it. Yeah. Next thing I know, there's a knock at my door. I open the door, and he's standing there. What the hell? You came to Canada? Come on in. And he passes him Sasha the joint, and he takes a look under the hat. It's Jimmy Page.
No way.
So what did Anvil do for this kid? Is open up a whole world of celebrities. We came to England. We met one of this really influential, big time one of the Queen's cousin. Like, how did we meet this guy? We walk out. We're coming out of the Donington Festival.
Lord Harvey.
Lord Philip Harvey, and we see this safari.
Lord.
There's
Lord Harvey, Lord Philip Harvey.
He had long hair and he had like
leather jackets in his
he looked like
40s.
a rocker. He didn't look like anything more than a regular. He was an older kind of guy at that time.
And he was up a closet. No, London accent.
He's all covered in mud. He's all covered in mud.
Very, you know.
He was all covered in mud, and it's like, it was amazing. And meanwhile, he was really like a big time.
So he's got a real authentic safari van, like something you'd see in Africa with the mesh, you know,
The grid.
the whole bit. And we're like, oh, the guy's got to be, you know, like, I don't know. So you start talking to him, we find out that the girl that he's with is the drummer's wife from Bad Company. Right?
Man.
This is who he's hanging out with at the Donington Festival. He introduces this as Desiree.
Yeah, that's right.
She's married to the drummer from Bad Company. He introduced himself, and we started hanging out with him, and we find out that all the other musicians in England are
hang on to go to his house.
and
We went to his house, and we had all these special, mushroom psychedelic concoctions. He's an old hippie. It was really cool.
They come out with, literally with a silver platter. You got pot. You got anything you want on the
psychedelics.
literally on a silver platter. He puts it down on the coffee table. Help yourself, boys.
Even presented properly, eh? No china for them.
And very, very proper. Very, very. And
Royal.
Yeah.
In a way, but it had no appearance of it.
Oh, cool.
Well, do you remember that? Like, it was just like a regular guy.
Wow.
You know, so
I think he was a black sheep of the whole thing.
These are the things that.
But
And then, you know, taking this 15-year-old kid out on the road.
Not be grateful.
you paid me 25 years ago. I go, wow, really?
And you know, we didn't really realize
very
that that's the effect that our simple friendship had. They go, don't worry about
Thanks,
it.
sir.
Whatever you're feeling, it's all good. Don't worry. Says Lips, trust me, it's gonna be good. So I go to the festival.
Was it Gods of Metal?
No. It was
Not
it was like Iron. He was like a novice kind of promoter, just
Small.
yeah, but not really small. He had Saxon,
Okay.
Dio, Candlemass, us, Exciter, Riot, the 2 or 3 days in Italy. So we get to the festival, and it's first thing in the fucking morning, and I'm like, I'm starved. So I go into the kiosk, and the way this hotel was like a big round sort of hotel, and in the middle it's an open field with a little kiosk in the middle. So I walk into the kiosk where it's where you check in and everything, and I said, anybody know where I can get something to eat? First guy that walks up to me is a singer from Savatage. Okay, John Oliva.
Yeah.
John comes up to me and goes, Lips, I haven't seen you in years. How have you fucking been, man?